Barely a day goes by without the royal family courting controversy. A few days ago, Princes William and Harry made extraordinary public comments shaming the BBC for the way it deceived their mother, Princess Diana. Back in 1995, reporter Martin Bashir not only lied, but falsified documents to convince Diana to agree to a tell-all interview about Prince Charles. As the BBC now admits, it was journalism at its worst. More than 25 years on, the damage from that interview remains. But there is some positive news for Buckingham Palace. As Tom Stiford reports, Kate Middleton, one-time commoner and now the Duchess of Cambridge, has emerged as the saviour of the beleaguered royal family. And many, including her own uncle, say the future Queen Catherine is actually ready to wear the crown right now.
With its wholesome family vibes and soothing acoustic backing, this video looks more like a commercial for a fashion label or a car company than it does a celebration of Will and Kate's 10th wedding anniversary. But the royal family needs some good PR right now, more than just about any business out there. And they've got the perfect vehicle in the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and their 3 adorable children.
We've seen a different side to the royals, and I think we've particularly seen that with William and Kate. They've been more real, more relatable, and I think that's been incredibly important for the royal family.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
Amid a sea of recent scandals,
concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
the royals have been painted as out of touch.
I feel really let down.
So many believe the best hope of restoring the public's faith in the crown is for it to be worn by someone with that common touch.
Hello, everybody. Much has been made of Kate's heritage and where she comes from. I mean, she is a commoner.
Do you think Kate's ready to be queen now?
I think she was born ready. It's a modern version of the royal family that we know. I think she's absolutely perfect for that role. Obviously, I'm a bit biased, but wouldn't Kate and William be great at it?
Gary Goldsmith's bias is understandable. He is Kate's uncle, brother of her mum, Carol Middleton. The self-made, multi-millionaire rarely speaks publicly, but has decided to open up about the crown jewel of his family. How does it play out at a family function when someone comes up to you and says, hey, Kate's going out with Prince William?
Well, I got the phone call, didn't I? I was in a board meeting and Carol's just phoned me just to say this might be happening. And I was sworn to secrecy. But the conversation was, you what? Seriously? I can't believe that this is a real thing. And the first thing you do, even though you're sworn to secrecy, is tell your best mates. And they all just thought, hi Bill, I think I'm going to be uncle to the future queen of the country.
What's it like when you're meeting Prince William for the first time?
I'll talk about surreal moments. Walk through the front door of the family home. There's Kate cooking supper, William making a cup of tea. All the families just mooching around. And then William says, hello, I'm William. And it's, hi, I'm Gary. It was just like meeting just a normal bloke. He was a normal part of the family, which was a bit bonkers. I mean, that's Prince William. And he's just making a cup of tea.
What small talk do you make with William? It can't be like, what do you want to do when you're older? Or what's your dad do?
Yeah, what car do you drive? Where do you live? Obviously he's big time into his rugby. When the rugby's being watched, is your dad supporting Wales and you're supporting England? How does that work? There's loads of fun to be had.
It took the better part of a decade before Prince William finally popped the question.
I'm willing to learn quickly and work hard.
She'll do really well.
With the couple tying the knot on a spectacular day in 2011. Is it a bit of a pinch yourself moment when you're at Westminster Abbey and all of a sudden a member of your family is marrying an heir to the throne?
unbelievable. From the moment we jumped into the car and on the way to the ceremony, that was crazy, thinking this is our Kate. And then suddenly seeing that her walking down the aisle with Mike, I mean, that was just absolutely mind-blowing. I think I was there with my daughter and we're just staring at each other going, OMG.
Here they come.
Since then, they've been a picture-perfect couple, including welcoming 3 new young royals for the British public to celebrate.
Here comes the sun.
Royal correspondent Katie Nicholl charted the evolution of the Duchess of Cambridge in her book, Kate, the Future Queen.
You know, for someone that wasn't born royal, she does royal incredibly well. She is flawless. You know, she doesn't put a foot wrong.
But such has been Kate's devotion to presenting a pristine and conservative family life that some believe her public persona is a bit too Stepford wives. A lot of the commentary around Kate is that she's dignified and that she's proper. Is it sometimes a fine line between being that conservative and almost being boring?
I do think that there was a feeling in those early years. Some people did feel that perhaps she might be a bit boring. So I think to a degree, yes, she has played it safe, and that has earned her criticism. Hilary Mantel, the author, once described her as a mannequin, that she didn't have her own opinion, that she was just this bit part in the sidelines. I think that was to underestimate Kate greatly. I think actually she has simply bided her time, and now, with 10 years of royal service under her belt, we are hearing from her more, we are seeing more of her.
I was amazed as a first-time parent that
The royal family realise they have a really important key player here, and they're bringing her centre stage. So we have seen a shift.
In fact, Kate's standing in the royal family has now come so far that many believe she is their biggest asset.
I think Kate is the glue. In the same way that the Duke of Edinburgh was always the one who would help resolve family issues, he was the patriarch of the family, I see Kate stepping into that role, trying to keep things together.
Do you think there's an element of the firm that would almost like to skip past Charles and Camilla and get straight to William and Kate as King and Queen?
A lot of people think it would make more sense to skip a generation and let the crown move straight to William and Kate. Possibly they might prove a more popular king and queen than Charles and Camilla. But the idea of breaking constitution, and that is essentially everything the royal family is built upon, is really something that's not going to happen.
Prince of Wales had previously accompanied the Queen to the state opening on...
We will have King Charles and Queen Camilla before we have King William and Queen Catherine. But I think a lot of people believe that the real future of the monarchy, the longevity of the monarchy, lies in William and Kate.
The question, though, is whether William and Kate are up to the top jobs. I get the feeling you're so proud of Kate that just a little tear will roll down the cheek when she does become Queen.
I'll be like a baby. She's someone to be super, super, super proud of. And hopefully that comes across. And I genuinely will say she is nicer on the inside than she's on the outside. She's a very beautiful soul.
Kate Middleton's uncle, Gary Goldsmith, is himself no stranger to headlines. He's often snapped by the paps, and a few years ago was caught up in an embarrassing tabloid sting. But his penchant for controversy is nothing compared to that of Kate's in-laws, Harry and Meghan. I saw a headline that you called Harry and Meghan Muppets.
Yeah, do you know, I'm embarrassed about doing it, but I'll stand by it.
So you still think they're Muppets?
No, I'm just very disappointed with them. And I think there's a whole nation that's massively disappointed. We all love Harry. The world loves Harry. But do you know what? You just don't do what they did and then go on Oprah and talk like that. It's just not the way the world works.
A few days before the wedding, she was upset about something pertaining to, yes, the issue was correct about flower girl dresses, and it made me cry, and it really hurt my feelings.
Meghan, some people say she threw Kate under the bus by highlighting that it was actually Kate who made Meghan cry before the wedding. What did you think of her dredging up that old incident?
Didn't believe a word of it, if I'm brutally honest. That is not the Kate I've ever known. That is not behaviour that would ever be like that. Kate would always be the peacemaker in any of those situations. I think we saw at the funeral that she's trying to make peace, and she always does. There were lots of things in that interview that I didn't believe, and that was definitely one of them.
Do you think the fact that Meghan has drawn so much controversy has almost, in the end, by comparison, made Kate look even better?
Yes. Yes.
Queen Elizabeth's shoes, or should that be crown, will be immensely difficult to fill in the decades to come.
So there are some disadvantages to crowns, but otherwise they're quite important things.
But royal correspondent Katie Nichols says in the last 12 months, the Duchess of Cambridge has really shown she has what it takes to be a respected senior member of the royal family. Has COVID in some ways been the making of Kate?
I think some people might say that the lockdown that we experienced here, well, 3 of them, in many ways was the unlocking of Kate, because I think that the public got to see more of the true Duchess than they'd ever been able to see before.
The first number is 5 and 8. 58.
We got to see William and Kate at home at Anmer. We got to see their children clapping for the NHS during the lockdown. We got access to them in a way that we absolutely hadn't before.
Hello, David Attenborough.
And I think a lot of that was down to William and Kate recognising that they couldn't be seen to be in their ivory tower. They needed to be accessible.
One defining moment sticks in Katie's mind when the Duchess of Cambridge took it upon herself to visit the London vigil for murdered woman Sarah Everard in March this year. How much does that resonate with the public when they see Kate out there at a vigil like that?
It does resonate with the public. In that moment, I think that was a real turning point for Kate. It was a big thing for her to do. We're not used to seeing royals do that sort of thing. I think she was showing and paving the way for a new way of being royal. And that way will resonate with the future generation. That is the future of the monarchy. It's being real, it's being able to connect, and it's being relatable.
The tabloids infamously dubbed Kate Waity Katie when it took years for William to finally propose. And it may still be decades yet before she fulfills her destiny and becomes Queen.
My lords and members of the
But her proud Uncle Gary is adamant it'll definitely be worth the wait. What's something about Kate's personality that perhaps a lot of people wouldn't know?
She's got a wicked and devilish sense of humour. So she's a very funny girl, and actually laughter actually fills every room that she's in. She's very domestic. She's very good at cooking. So she's almost like the girl next door with a wicked sense of humour who happens to have a really quite important role.
You know, there are suggestions that once the Queen passes, that Australia will then look to become a republic. So Kate may one day be Queen of England, but she might never be Queen of Australia.
I think it might be to Australia's loss. There's this very strong bond between our two nations. If you don't get a piece of Kate the way we do, that's a real shame. I think you are missing out.
Hello, I'm Sarah Arbo. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our Extra Minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.